40 examples of zerubbabel Collins in this cemetery, the old Bennington Cemetery, and 5 examples of his apprentice, it's Benjamin Dyer, and some other ones that we weren't expecting. All right, let's start off with the Collins family carvers. Let's start with Benjamin Collins in 1691 to 1759. He was a cabinet maker in Columbia, Connecticut, which is then known as Lebanon Crank. Benjamin Collins was a cabinet maker as well as a gravestone crafter. You can kind of tell by looking at his stuff that it's sort of got a cabinet look to it. Anyways, he had an older son. His name was Julius Collins. He lived to be about 30. He died in Stillwater, New York, while working with the Army in about 1758. So I don't think he was that into it. I mean, you can't find that many examples of his stuff, and well, you didn't really get a good shot at it anyway. But the guy we're interested in is a guy named
zerubbabel Collins. This is a later example, probably done most likely by one of his best apprentice. The year on this stone is 1791. This motif is a miniature version of a known Zerubbabel. Is it him? Is it not? I don't know.
I want to talk about Collins, why the year on the stone doesn't seem to match the year of the death. And the thing is Collins, I believe, using his apprentices over a course of about 20 years, mass-produced all of these stones. I think he may have been able to pull off 1 or 2 a week, by dividing the labor up. And thing is when you buy some stones as a stone carver in the local area, you stock up on a little bit, because they're popular, and then they fall out of popularity. But somebody needs a stone at a cheaper rate, so you give it to them. You've had this thing sitting around for 20 years, you might as well. Have I got a deal for you?
Simple shoulders, still have the fleur-de-lis and all this, but no memo morte. But you've got the side panels.
What about this one right here in front?
Right here, you've got the clover shoulder. You've got the very simple line. And you still have the fleur-de-lis and all the frilly frou-frous, but not, you still don't have the memo, what do you call it? Memento mori. Memento mori.
Remember death.
Remember death.
Memento mori.
All right, I wanted to talk about the parts of a stone here, and mainly dealing with the early Collins, Benjamin Collins. This isn't a Collins stone at all, this is much later. But the top part here is usually called the tympanum or the lunette. I like lunette better. And down here is where the inscription goes, which is usually called the tablet. Then you have these side parts here that are called the border or the side border. And a lot of these old stones look similar to a doorway to a church or even a piece of furniture. Because Benjamin Collins was originally a cabinet maker. Here's an interesting one. This one's from 1801. And this is sort of a crossover piece. And I think James Collins might have had something to do with it. There's the willow that would be part of the Greek revival movement or the mourning period, plus the head. It's the only one we found like this so far. But the other thing is that the stones tablets were, they were blank. So you would send it to your local stone carver, and he would put the inscription on it, or an epitaph, or whatever it is that you wanted. All right, here's another zerubbabel that 1775, and he's got the dimple, or he's got, what do they call that, a cleft. He's got a cleft chin, and he sort of always had a cleft chin level.
Well, some of them are more square.
All right, well, there's a good example of that. And notice the shape of the stone.
Is it not? I don't know.
What year is it?
This is 1800s. This is a crossover.
So it would probably be James.
Could very well be James.
I suspect James. And at our next cemetery, I'm going to give you my other.
All right. Zerubbabel Collins stomping ground here at the Shaftsbury Center Cemetery in Shaftsbury, Vermont. And he must have had some place to carve here, because cemetery is loaded with examples, more than the Bennington Cemetery, I believe.